Hello everyone, Devin here, back with another video and back with another new setup. Let me know what you think. Not only do I have a new setup, but I also have a new toy here to play with. So I've had the Spark for the last couple of years, haven't been flying it as much. We can talk about that in a little bit, but I have finally upgraded to the spiritual successor right now. This is the DJI Mini 2. So I want to cover a couple of quick differences between these two drones, but mostly in what has been my experience so far, and really why I wanted to upgrade to this device. First off, the Spark is getting old. It's just unfortunately going out of life cycle. DJI isn't going to be supporting it anymore, as well as in September here, 2022. The FAA introduced new remote ID requirements, at least for manufacturers, and then as of September next year, 2023, those requirements are going to be pushed off onto the actual pilots. So you will need a drone that supports remote ID. As far as I know, the Spark is not going to support that. That is something that, unfortunately, unless you buy a separate transponder type of device, you won't be able to be using the Spark, at least outdoors, anymore. Another thing that the Spark has always been lacking in, but has seemingly gotten worse over time, is the transmission style that the Spark uses. The Spark uses a different type of Wi-Fi for the transmission from the device to the remote. So the more Wi-Fi interference you have flying through the air, the worse the transmission quality is coming back to the controller, coming back to the phone, whatever you're using. And honestly, I've booted this thing up regularly lately, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. And the only thing that I can think that might be causing that is more and more Wi-Fi networks being around in these residential areas. That is going to create more and more interference for this little drone. Whereas newer drones that at least DJI has been creating have been using much more proprietary transmission waves and different types of technology to be able to allow a lot better transmission quality, no matter what the types of Wi-Fi interference might include. So that's one of those things that I've never liked about the Spark, but that I absolutely love about the newer drones. Looking forward to that crystal clear, super low latency connection speeds. After flying these two devices at the same time, and as I get a little bit more familiar with the Mini 2, honestly, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's a combination of the drone as well as the controller getting better, but everything seems so much smoother. Flights, using the gimbal, all so smooth. It makes it so much easier to get those very cinematic looking shots without the video getting all bumpy and moving around and bouncing type of thing when I'm trying to get around an angle and make it as smooth as possible. It's just so much easier to do with the Mini than it is the Spark. And then probably my number one reason why I am excited to upgrade to this. I do have 4 separate batteries for the Spark. They all get, on average, even after all of these years, I still get probably between 8 and 10 minutes of battery life, fly time, depending on what I'm doing with the Spark. If I'm using any of the quick shot actions, if I've got it in sport mode and I'm just racing it around, that does definitely affect the battery life, getting closer to that 7 to 8 minutes before I need to come back and land. The DJI Mini 2 gets honestly easy 25 to 30 minutes worth of flight time. So I did get the Fly More package with this, so I do have 3 batteries, but the fact that I can get 3 to 4 times the amount of flight time out of a single battery versus my Spark is absolutely insane to me. I'm so excited to be able to just keep this thing up in the air and flying and not having to be back down on the ground every couple of minutes. One thing I noted, I do want to get these back up in the air, fly them side by side and test it out again. But I'm pretty sure that the Spark is a little bit quicker in the air. I think the turning, so when you put them both in sport mode, the Spark really feels fun to fly. It zips around really good, and not saying that the Mini 2 doesn't do that, doesn't get around, it doesn't get up to those about the same top speeds, but I think that the Spark feels a little bit zippier. It is a super fun drone to fly. And lastly, as small as this sounds, as small as it actually is, the DJI Mini 2 is bigger when it's unfolded, but when it is folded up, it is definitely a smaller footprint than the Spark. So even though it has that much better battery life, it has that much better camera quality, it packs up into a smaller package, so that something that I absolutely love. I'm not a professional photographer. I don't carry around giant bags of camera equipment everywhere I go. To be able to just throw this in my backpack, or honestly, just carry it with me, throw it. I could throw this easily in my sweatshirt pocket if I really, really wanted to. And not that I probably couldn't do that with this. This just doesn't fold up. So if I threw this in my backpack by itself, I'm going to end up breaking one of these arms off, where I don't feel nearly as much like I'm going to do that with the Mini 2. Just those tiny little improvements over the Spark. Again, not that the Spark is a bad drone, not that it's too big, but it does give that extra, just a little bit better. Just those tiny, tiny little improvements to make it that much better. All right, and then one other thing I wanted to mention with the Spark versus the DJI Mini 2, I'm guessing that the people that are going to be getting these, the creators, if you are a creator, you're probably going to be solo, or in my case, I'm with my wife and my kids, or any combination of them. Not professional photographers either. They're there just to have fun. So a lot of times I am flying this solo. If I'm trying to record myself, record my subjects, I'm doing all of that. So if you do want to track yourself, the DJI Mini 2 does offer a lot of the same quick shots, the panoramas, the circles, the spirals, all of those fancy different cinematic shots. But it does not offer the same active tracking that the DJI Spark does. The Mini 2, the only sensors, the only avoidance sensors that it has are on the bottom, so it does not do the same active tracking of a person or somebody riding a bike or hiking or anything like that. So if you are somebody that is going to rely on the drone itself to do some active tracking while you're walking, flying, and you're not able to do that, or you don't have somebody to fly the drone for you, that is definitely something that is lacking over the Spark. So that is it, the DJI Mini 2 versus the DJI Spark. I absolutely love both of these drones. Not gonna lie, that's why I still have this drone today. I've had it for years. I absolutely love everything about it. Unfortunately, it's just getting older, and the DJI Mini 2, for the price, for me, is worth the upgrade finally. At this moment in time, can I recommend somebody to buy the DJI Spark? It is September 2022. Can you buy the DJI Spark? I honestly wouldn't recommend it unless you're getting it very, very inexpensive from somebody, unless you're inheriting it from somebody. To be honest, the batteries themselves are so expensive that it is hard to justify buying this drone. But honestly, even without the Fly More package, you can get one battery and still get the same amount of flight time as 3 batteries for the DJI Spark. So honestly, unless you're inheriting this from somebody and getting it for free, getting it very, very inexpensively, it's hard for me to recommend going with the DJI Spark. The Mini 2, or if you have the budget for it, the Mini 3 Pro is also a fantastic drone. I would definitely go with those. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe. I try to make videos as often as possible, and hopefully with this new toy, I will be getting even more content out there. If you want to see even more of my flights, my cinematic type of content, I will be posting that over on my drone only channel. It is called Skewed Motion Media. I'll have a link for that down in the description. Follow that if you'd like to see just more of my drone content. This channel, we do a lot more tech type of stuff. This definitely falls into the tech category. But more of the cinematic stuff, more of the drone only aerial videography will be over on that channel. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. We'll see you next time.